What's up, guys? Ryan Pineda here. So you've caught us on another episode of Ask Ryan, where you send in questions on Instagram, I answer them, but today I've got a special guest with me who's going to be answering, none other than meet Kevin. What up, dude?
Thanks for having me. This is exciting.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for touring me around Vegas here. I love it.
Yeah, dude. We just filmed a segment for your channel about house flips, and we're here at the mountain today, and we're going to answer some questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, dude. Let's pull out the first question.
And I don't know what they are. These are all a surprise to me.
Okay, so the first question we've got is, what's up with the hair dyes?
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that. That's the problem. It's one of those things where I think I just woke up one day and I'm like, F it, I can. That's the answer, is I get to color my hair.
So I've recently been dyeing my hair. I had blue, then red, now I'm blonde.
See, I gotta follow your path.
Yeah, and people are like, did Kevin copy you? And I'm like, I have no idea what Kevin's doing or why, but mine was the same reason. I was like, dude, I'm just bored.
There you go.
Like, I just want to do it, and if it gets more views, tight.
I wish I could say it was for like green energy awareness or something, which I'm a big proponent of that, but I'd be lying because that's not why I did it.
Yeah. All right, so second question. JC Roberts says, when's he moving to Vegas?
Probably not anytime soon. I think I'd have to create some kind of business in Vegas and then begrudgingly force my wife to move out here. And it's just not worth ruining that family dynamic we'd have now. So I think for the 13% in tax arbitrage I'd save, I'm just gonna pay that. Happy wife, happy life.
Dude. Let me tell you, my audience always says, because I feature my wife in a lot of my content and stuff, and they're like, dude, we love that you're family oriented. Yes. And I'm like, dude, there's a price to be paid, like, to be family oriented. You choose, not to work as much. You could go work and make a lot of money. You choose not to move when you know it could be a good choice. You make a lot of sacrifices, but we know the reward is way more than any financial reward.
Compromises.
Yeah, but if she ever did want to move, you know where to go, right?
There we go.
All right.
Have to be Vegas.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying you know where to go. Who to help?
Indeed, who can help represent me too. Thank you. Well, you did help Graham, so got precedent here.
Yeah. Next question from Anthony Altamirano, sorry. Robert Kiyosaki keeps saying a crash is coming soon. What are both of your thoughts? What do you think?
I think all these doom and gloom YouTube channels or fearmongers, A, most of the time they're selling you gold, and B, most of the time they do a really good job at preventing people from actually getting any assets. So they don't get their real estate, they don't get stocks, they don't get started because they're thinking, oh, well, I'll just procrastinate starting until there's a crash. And so they never prepare, they never get experience, they never get exposed to actually investing, and they think somehow magically they're gonna be prepared when the market crashes. Yeah. It's stupid. Look, the market crashed in March of 2020. On March 4th, when I saw, okay, wait a minute, the Fed's panicking, coming in on a Sunday, dropping rates, we're about to have a crap storm of a market. I called up my lender, refinanced 8 of my properties. Yeah. War chest, threw it in the stock market in March and April. That $2 million that I invested in the stock market at that time turned into 8. Woo. Whereas, 4X. Whereas the money that I invested in, let's say, January of 2021 is flat. Yeah. So, but I was able to do that because I already had investments. Yeah. And it's not like
how are you gonna wait for a crash if you have nothing to? You have nothing.
So finding an excuse to wait to invest is a mistake. Invest, then wait. And people are like, oh, but the real estate market's pricey. So what? Find a good deal that's below market value anyway. If it crashes, here's the nice thing. The bank's never gonna call you and say, hey, pay up, margin call on your house, because we don't do that in real estate.
Yeah, I'll say for me, a lot of people are like, are you scared? You've got 60 flips right now, you're buying big buildings, like, what if it crashes? What are you gonna do? And it's like, dude, for one, I don't see it crashing anytime soon personally. There's such low inventory, there are such low rates, like, it would be so hard for it to crash at this point. And I think the government's gonna continue to just fund stimulus if there does, end up being this big problem. But, it's just like you said, if you're always fearful that something is gonna happen and that the market's gonna tank, you're never gonna take action. Exactly. I got into real estate in 2010, and people were telling me then, they're like, dude, it's gonna keep going down.
Yep. Like, double dip recession's coming, everyone. Panic, don't buy anything. Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
The house we saw on your channel,
Yeah.
you could have had that house for $70,000. Today we're selling it for over $400,000.
And you probably, what did you pay for it?
I paid $250.
Yeah, so just because you paid $250 for it, you're paying 3 to 4x what it previously sold for. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's still money to be made.
Yep.
So get in the game.
Yeah. Just find a good deal. It doesn't matter what the market's doing if you can find good deals.
Always buy under that, under the market value. There you go.
All right, here's a question from Carl Reiner. How do you make big money on YouTube like he does? Like, what's the first step to start making some money on YouTube?
Oh, yeah, so I think asking the question that way is actually not that great because it's really a sign that somebody's trying to get in probably potentially for the wrong reason, right?
Right.
The hard thing about YouTube is recognizing that you have to provide value for people to care.
Right.
And so my test for that is, if I went up to you in a bar and you're sitting down at a table with your friends, and I randomly sat down with you at that table, and I started talking to you about, hey, here's a really good way you can make money doing this one thing in this neighborhood in real estate investing. You'd all probably lean and go, well, make money, I want to hear about this.
Yeah.
And if it's good, you're gonna want to talk to me again when I come in that bar again.
Yeah.
If I walk into that bar and I'm like, look at me, and I just have stupid, idiotic content that's rehashed and garbage and people can't actually do anything with it, nobody's gonna care. You're gonna get kicked out of that bar, nobody's gonna be interested in you. So it's very much like life. You gotta figure out how to provide value to the conversation. That's where you should start. Yeah. You provide first, then you get. You give, then you receive.
Right, and I think the part that you mentioned at the very beginning was, you're probably getting into it for the wrong reasons if it's purely just, I want to make money. Because making content, as we both know, it's work, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of work. You got to take a lot of criticism from the camera, from people. You've got to prep, you've got to film, and dude, it's like if you don't actually enjoy making videos, you won't do it for long.
No, you'll burn out very, very quickly. The burnout rate is very, very high, and it's because people are starting without having that value that they're adding.
For sure. All right, this is a good question. King Mark wants to ask, what's the biggest thing he had to overcome?
I have no idea who that is or anything about King.
It's just a normal, a random.
Oh, sorry. Okay, because I'm like, who's King Mark? I don't know what he had to overcome. You're asking me.
Yeah, what's
well,
the biggest
what
thing
I had to overcome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Probably just knowing when to cut your loss on something. People very regularly, good analogy I think is gambling. You got a hand, it's just not that great, but you feel pot committed. So you're like, I'm just gonna keep trying, I'm gonna keep putting money into this. Sometimes it's good to just say, kill it. This is not meant to be, cancel it. So for example, I had a construction company that was an arm of my real estate sales business, but we were doing a lot of licensed contractor, which we were handyman work. Okay. But you can't charge as a licensed contractor for handyman things, so the margins were horrible. Terrible. Right? But here I am, I'm invested with 15 employees and wrapped Sprinter vans and all these tools we bought, and we could do mold remediation and asbestos remediation. We had everything, right? Yeah. So we're so invested, and I think one of the hardest things is saying, this is not working, kill it all, whatever that thing that you're doing is, and go take a leap of faith on something else. That's hard, overcoming that, but it's so important to do that.
I mean, when you lose like that, not only monetarily, losing on something like that, but you think about all the time you committed into it. Your pride is hurt when you start a business and it doesn't go the way you think. I've been there. I've made bad investments. I've lost money. I've hired the wrong people. I think overcoming everything just continues to make you stronger. So like for me now, when I have a problem in business or I make a bad, decision, I'm like, dude, I've made them before. Next. I'm still here. What did I learn from it, right?
My favorite word in life is just next. Like, okay, it didn't work out, next. Next question.
Speaking of next, okay, you just ran for governor. And there's a lot of governor questions. One was, ask him why did he run for office? And then I had other questions that were asking, is he gonna do it again? Speaking of next.
Sure.
So why did you run for governor? And obviously it didn't work out.
Right.
But what did you learn and what's next?
Right, and I didn't run for governor with green hair, for those wondering. But look, I ran for governor because I knew that we'd be staying in California. We just had that conversation about family. And I thought, California, if we stay on this trajectory, is going to be bankrupt in 20 years. It's a social welfare state. 33% of Californians are on Medi-Cal. The school systems are in the bottom 20% of the nation. We stay on this trajectory, California's going to fall apart. It's going to be bankrupt. It's going to have to get bailed out by the federal government.
Right.
I don't want that to be the California that my kids inherit in 20 years. In 20 years, when they start going to college, I don't want them to look at me and go, Dad, 20 years ago, why didn't you move to Vegas?
Yeah.
Really? Weather? That really? We're in a bankrupt state now. Like, seriously? So that fear is what motivated me.
Right.
Will I run again? It depends. I've learned that to win in politics, you have to enter into a very fearful time, and you have to be the opposite of that fear.
Yeah.
So this election, I was sort of standing in the middle talking about, we gotta invest in our schools and end homelessness and deal with criminal justice reform and our housing crisis. But the real argument was on one side, no vax mandates and no masks. And on the other side, it was, he's gonna kill your children and your family. Like, that's what it came down to. And so people were voting out of fear.
Yeah.
So you gotta, if you wanna get into politics and you wanna succeed, you have to be at one of the fear spectrums.
So it sounds to me like the lesson you learned from running was that in order to win, if you're gonna do it again, you have to play the game. Like the game is the fear game. Like you can't,
you can't run on logic.
And hey, once you get in, then do what you wanted to do. But in order to win, you got to play to that.
There you go.
So what's next? Are you going to do it? What do you?
It depends what the landscapes look like. So if there's a wide open landscape, great, let's run again. But look, if we get a repeat of 2021, where let's say it's a Larry Elder, that right example, or the Newsom on the left example, they're running against each other again. I'm, as a moderate, not going to be able to get enough support to win in the primaries because only top 2 advance.
Right.
So it'd be a waste of time. So it depends. If he doesn't run, maybe, because I could beat everybody else. I did beat everybody else.
So one person asked me, why go on the Democrat side when you ran? Why not be a Republican? Like, what's the logic?
I'm not an identity politics kind of guy. I'm like 51-49 is what I say. Some of my things are right, some of my things are left. I'm pretty in the middle. I think most Californians are in the middle. I've been registered as a Dem since 18, so it just that's where it fell. Okay. And speaking on that, Neil Holm asked, was the CA governor recall result legit? Yes.
It was legit?
The problem is, look, it's a very divisive question to even answer. But here's the thing: even if I think there should be audits or this, that, or whatever, for me, it's over. Yeah. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. Yeah. I'll run a different campaign next time, and it's lessons learned. Yeah. It doesn't really affect me.
Yeah. So this question comes from me because I saw you post about this, the whole controversy of them not letting you use Meet Kevin.
Oh gosh, yeah. Look, in 2003, on a recall ballot, the only other the successful recall that we had in California, where it actually came to an election, there was a sumo wrestler that was on the ballot, and he got to use his stage name, Takakazi.
Yeah.
So it was like Kurt Takakazi, whatever his last name was, like Floyd something, whatever. Takakazi is literally just a sumo name, and it means like to strike the earth with lightning or the sword of lightning. I have no idea. It's something just like, it's his brand, right? That's his stage name. And so the law says you are not allowed to have a brand on your ballot designation.
Yeah.
Okay, so ballot designation is the part that's under your name.
Yeah.
So your name can have a brand.
Yeah.
That's how he got Takakazi in.
Yeah.
But you can't put like CEO of Amazon in the description. So I went to court. I'm like, fine, I'll take you to court. And the judge ruled, well, we don't like Meet Kevin because it's a brand. I'm like, that's not what the law is. And I broke down the law and everything, but Democratic appointed judge in a very Democratic leaning district, in a district of Sacramento where the judges who work in that district want to become federal appointed judges.
Right.
The existing governor, who I would be running against, wants to become president. Presidents can appoint federal judges. So we believe that there was basically no way to win in Sacramento against Gavin Newsom. So maybe that's jaded, but honestly, the things I've been through with censorship and what I see in politics, I believe it. Yeah. I went into that lawsuit thinking, well, the court system's gonna be impartial. Like, oops.
Yeah, I think the thing I watched from your run and talking to other people who've run and just, you hear it's like, dude, it's who you know in politics and it's who's in whose pockets, and you saw it firsthand. And it just is what it is. What are you gonna do about it?
It's ugly, it's nasty, it's people leave your comments like, oh, that's your label, unsub. I'm never watching a video from you again. It's like, really? Like that changes my financial,
My stock picks.
But that's what, unfortunately, America has come to. It's so divisive. And it's so divisive because that's how you win the election.
It is. It goes back to what you have to run on.
Circle back. That's why we have Fox and CNN. That's why like your local Spectrum News that just provides the news doesn't do as well as Fox and CNN, you know, Tucker Carlson, the damn lefties, man, you know? Like that just gets people pissed and angry and that gets views because it's shareable.
Yeah. Dude, I appreciate you coming out to Vegas and hanging out with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude.
Pleasure.
If you guys want to see the video Kevin and I filmed, go head over to his channel. Make sure you're subscribed. And if he runs again, make sure you vote for Meet Kevin.